So what ruined the coaching industry in the UK? The thing that ruined the coaching industry in this country was the growth accelerator. And this was way before my time. But the government essentially pumped a load of money into local government to hire mentors and coaches to coach businesses in the local area. I see this so many times off the back of this scheme that executives or failed business owners retire and think, I'll be a coach. That looks easy, because they saw the growth accelerator from afar and then they just flop. Just like the growth accelerator flopped and ruined the coaching industry for a while in the UK. That's why whenever you speak to an older business owner, they relate a coach to these people who were running the growth accelerator. And the results were really poor. You had loads of grey-haired, no-head, boring old blokes who were unsuccessful, thinking this is an easy way to make a few quid. And I can tell you now, business coaching is not an easy way to make a few quid. And I'll explain why a little bit later in the video. I've heard some horror stories from Growth Accelerator. Coaches falling asleep during the sessions and just ruining businesses up and down the country because they had no freaking idea about what they were talking about. These days, there's a lot of coaches out there that this is their trade. They go into coaching as their profession. Some of them are building businesses alongside their coaching business, which is great, but pick a coach that lives and breathes this stuff every day. Pick a coach that's had to graft and learn and fight to come to grips with how business coaching works. People have put blood, sweat and tears into becoming the best coach that they can be. People always ask me quite a lot about mentors and consultants and coaches and what's the difference between the three. And I think this is a very valuable question. So let me break this down. You should use consultants and pay for them. An IT consultant will be very useful in improving the technology and IT systems around your whole business. An accountant is a form of tax consultant, and you should be using one of them. And you should be able to see a clear ROI, return on investment. A mentor, on the other hand, is someone who's been there and done it for themselves and is looking to give back. You should not be paying these people because they're not necessarily going to give you tangible results or offer any form of guarantees, but they will be able to tell you how they navigated particular problems. But that problem will only be relevant about 30% to you because that was them and not you. But they're still useful. They should probably have been in the same industry as you and can impart lots of wisdom. But times will have changed. So a lot of the things that made them successful back in their day are just run-of-the-mill things nowadays. And just to repeat, your mentor should have been successful and probably doing it out of the good of their heart, not charging you. Now a coach, on the other hand, is someone who it's their trade to guide you, teach you, hold you accountable to growing your business. It should be a professional service and you should be able to see clear return on investment and have guarantees. Would you rather be coached by somebody who's been there and done it for themselves once, or been there and done it for other people many times over? Learning for other businesses, and it's their trade to help other people grow their business. They're not the player, they're the coach. My final point, I call this the shit filter. I took it from Elon Musk, but I think it's brilliant. The business owner's role involves a lot of firefighting and dealing with a lot of shit. So basically, there's a shit filter that runs throughout the whole business. And all the stuff that needs doing, the easy stuff gets left for the team to do. All the easy problems to solve, the team can deal with that. And all the really hard stuff, the shit, gets left to the business owner. They're the shit filter, the final stop. So if you think about it, if I'm a professional business coach working with business owners, I'm like the super hard shit filter. So if I work with a client for a year, I have probably dealt with all their harder shit to deal with every week. So now if I have 10 clients, I'm dealing with 10 years worth of super hard shit every year. Now if I've been coaching for 10 years, and let's say I average working with 10 clients over that 10 years, so in 10 years, I've dealt with 100 years worth of the really hard shit. Going back to the mentor, or the person who's done it for themselves, they will no doubt have dealt with 1, 2, maybe 3 years of really hard shit. But eventually, for them to become successful, they'll have had to hire people that are better than them to stop the really hard shit getting to them. That's the goal in business, to hire people to deal with the problems so that you don't have to as the business owner. You need to hire people that are better than you at it so that it doesn't end up coming to you. So thus, they don't have that much experience of dealing with the really hard shit. Because if they're successful, that means they've got better people than themselves dealing with that really hard shit on their behalf. I work with clients in dealing with their really hard shit and then supporting them to get people in that are better than them so that the team can then deal with the super hard shit. They don't have to. My job is basically to help business owners solve their shit conundrum. And I've done it many, many times over.